butchering the U.S., bringing us into world government, destroying our Bill of Rights and Constitution. Bush has passed the baton off. We're 26 hours into the baton being passed off. They're making him a messianic leader, telling the public everything will be okay if you just do what we say. Just like they said, pass the banker bailout, we'll fix the subprime mortgages, let the credit flow. And the next day they said, well, that actually wasn't the problem. We're keeping the money, it's secret. And by the way, $4 trillion is missing from the Pentagon trust funds. It's all gone. They're just stealing everything. This is a group of crooks with PR trying to suppress the public from resisting it or saying no. And if we try to resist, they've got Northcom and the military to crack down on us. All those years they said it wasn't for us. Now they admit it's for us. That's on record. Let's go back to it.
Apply. The question we ask today is not whether our government is too big or too small, but whether it works, whether it helps families find jobs at a decent wage, care they can afford, a retire.
See, it isn't about whether the government's big or small, but by the way, we're going to make it huge. Bush only tripled the size of it. It's about, does it work? Does it find you jobs? The government gave incentives to move offshore to companies. The government does all this criminal stuff. The government's totally bankrupt and illegitimate. It's been secret since 1947 completely. But that isn't the question. It's, does it get you a job? I'm going to give you something. They take the productive people's money. They keep, on average, 70% of it the feds, and then they give you the 30% of the money with strings attached.
That is dignified. Where the answer is yes, we intend to move forward. Where the answer is no, programs will end. And those of us who manage the public's dollars will be held to account.
Oh, yeah.
To spend wisely.
Oh, yeah.
Reform bad habits. And do our business.
Spend wisely, $170 million for the parties they had. Not to mention the security separate from that. Oh, spend wisely. Oh, yes, that's exactly what's happening with your entire cabinet full of people that did the actual robbing. I mean, it's just...
in the light of day, because only then can we restore the vital trust between a people and...
We're going to do this during the light of day. He's going to make a few comments about the police state, but accelerate it. Well, we're going to do this in the light of the day. Government's going to be transparent.
And their government. Nor is the question before us whether the market is a force for good or ill. Its power to generate wealth and expand freedom is unmatched.
This hasn't been a free market. It's private central banks that issue and control all the currency and credit, massing all the wealth under themselves, running stock markets like cash machines to cheat the public, and now they're just stealing all your pension funds. So they go, oh, is the free market at fault for all this? This isn't a free market.
This crisis has reminded us that without a watchful eye, the market can spend.
Without a watchful eye, that means more regulations on you, but the very regulators that are a revolving door with the big banks and brokerage houses running things and expanding the theft. And then the bankers just stole $8.5 trillion with him heading it up and setting it up at the Bilderberg Group meetings. And then he's talking about transparency and how we're going to watch the government. We're going to do all this. And today he's announcing more power to the banks secretly. It's just all lies.
Out of control. The nation cannot prosper long when it favors only the prosperous. The success of our economy has always depended not just...
This guy is claiming he's going to fight Wall Street when he is the greatest Wall Street candidate ever. He's saying, oh, this nation can't only prosper when the rich are prospering. When this guy... They set up government taxes to take your money and give it to the ultra elite, but he knows this crowd thinks somebody in a $100,000 house is rich.
Just on the size of our gross domestic product, but on the reach of our prosperity, on the ability to extend opportunity to every willing heart, not out of charity.
Oh, the government's going to extend help, just like he just passed a big eugenics package for forced abortion in China and abortions in Africa. That's a helping hand. Well, he's really going to help you.
But because it is the surest route to our common good.
Our common good. Everything's common.
As for our common defense, we reject as false the choice between our safety and our ideals. Our founding fathers faced with perils that we can scarcely imagine, drafted a charter to assure the rule of law and the rights of man, a charter expanded by the blood of generations. Those ideals...
Then the camera cuts to Bush like, ooh, he took your Bill of Rights. He took your Constitution. Meanwhile, they're bringing in General Jim Jones. They're keeping Gates. They're keeping they're expanding Northcom. Obama's announcing more troops on the streets of America. He had 47,000 of them, including regular Army there. It's just all bait and switch. Because it's unpopular, the police state. It's unpopular, Northcom. The people know about it now. He's saying, our founding fathers, our Bill of Rights. He didn't want to mention it by name. He said, a charter. And you watch what he does. You watch what he does. Oh, we're shutting down Guantanamo. Read the fine print. Secret camps in the U.S. ABC News. God, these people are incredible.
Still light the world, and we will not give them up for expedience sake.
Oh, the light of the world, yeah.
And so, to all the other peoples and governments who are watching today, from the grandest capitals to the small village where my father was born, know that America is a friend of each nation and every man, woman, and child who seeks a future of peace and dignity, and we are ready to lead once more.
You know, what Bush did is what the military-industrial complex and the banks wanted, and the RAND Corporation, the PNAC documents, the CFR, what the Democrats wanted. This is the same agenda. But see, now it's, I love you while we carpet bomb you. I love you while we put embargoes on you. I love you people. I care about you.
Recall that earlier generations faced down fascism and communism, not just with missiles and tanks, but with the sturdy alliances and enduring convictions. They understood that our power alone cannot protect us, nor does it entitle us to do as we please. Instead, they knew that our power grows through its prudent use.
Our power grows through its prudent use. The Milner Group out of England funded Hitler to destroy Europe, then they brought him down. They funded the Soviets the whole time. The U.S. government funded Pol Pot to kill 3 million people. That's all on record. His chief advisor, Zbigniew Brzezinski, writes books about it, bragging how he did it. And, again, just total deception. So they build their infrastructure, blame Bush for it, and then say, oh, that infrastructure isn't there anymore, as they arrest people on airplanes for spilling Bloody Marys and charge them under the Patriot Act, L.A. Times.
Our security emanates from the justness of our cause, the force of our example, the temper and quality.
Our security emanates from the justness of our cause globally, fighting Al-Qaeda.
Qualities of humility and restraint. We are the keepers of this legacy. Guided by these principles once more, we can meet those new threats that demand even greater effort, even greater cooperation and understanding between nations. We will begin to responsibly leave Iraq to its people and forge a hard-earned peace in
Okay, they've built hundreds of bases, 34 giant ones that hold thousands apiece, the biggest in Baghdad, the embassy that holds 4,000, 5,000 people. They've openly said it was the original plan they had. I told you they'd be there for decades, that within 6 to 7 years of the invasion, they would build the permanent bases, leave 50,000 troops there, and then bring in I-4 United Nations troops. And that's what they've now announced, because I was reading the official Army documents that were public. It just wasn't put out on the news. So, again, total lies. They're just going to move the 50,000 of the troops out of Iraq over into Afghanistan, and then also move some of the troops to encircle Russia. That's just unbelievable, man. And he's talking about Iran, too, going in there.
Afghanistan.
See,
with old friends and former foes, we will work tirelessly to an understanding between nations. We will begin to responsibly leave Iraq to its people and forge a hard-earned peace in Afghanistan. With old friends and former foes, we will work tirelessly to lessen the nuclear threat and roll back the specter of a warming planet. We will not apologize.
Did you hear that? We're going to fight Al-Qaeda, the terrorist, and the other terrorist, the warming planet. Now, remember what, in 1992, the Club of Rome put out a document. It was republished last year by Richard N. Haas. He wrote it, head of the Council on Foreign Relations, that he wrote back at Club of Rome, the big globalist think tank that sets a lot of policies, where they said we're going to use fake terror to attack the people and enslave them. They say this. And we're going to use fake environmental crises, climate change to attack